Is this bad news for the Seahawks, bro? You're still on. Before you answer, I'm sorry. Can you give us an update on where you are? Because Nick has been solidly Seattle.
Well, you don't know that.
It feels like it.
I've had to balance out from the propaganda that you've been
I've been
doing.
on the Patriots since week 4, but all of a sudden I'm a fool. We're at Super Bowl week. But you said you've got an open mind.
In my mind, I feel like I know who I'm picking, but I won't share it till tomorrow, Friday. But I will say this, Nick, you know I've been taking notes and listening to even our experts from the Super Bowl, the players, and you guys. And Seattle is dominating, like in the checklist.
Why is that?
I mean, everybody's saying stuff that's leading me to think Seattle's going to win. Everybody. All the players, Nick, Coach, everybody except you.
Coach? Are you sure, Coach?
Well, you're right. Coach sounds like he might pick the Patriots.
And that would,
but
if he
does,
does, that's hard overhead. That's a Vrabel, Josh McDaniels
also
thing.
One upset alert this year, and it's proven to be right several times.
He was a good upset alert guy.
Sorry.
But most of the checks, it's something like 14-3 or something like that. A check mark. So, but that doesn't mean that's how I'm going to go. We'll see tomorrow.
Okay.
But anyway, for this, look, obviously a healthy Drake Maye is better for the Patriots, better for the game, and worse for Seattle. But should they be afraid? I mean, they just beat Matthew Stafford, who threw 15 more touchdowns or something like that than Drake Maye did. They just beat Brock Purdy.
Oh, my gosh. Brock Purdy.
They ran through Brock Purdy in the Niners.
Before the game in the hotel lobby.
I mean, the question, should he scare them, or is it bad news for Seattle? No. And Drake is great and had, at one point I did have him number 1 on my MVP ballot. I got him number 2 over, at the end of the year. But he doesn't, it's very unlikely he throws for 300 yards and even 3 touchdowns.
You want to go KW?
Look, I'm trying to be fair.
You don't need to be fair.
I'm trying to be fair.
Into your
Here's the thing.
Nick's not fair with the Chiefs. He's not fair with the Chiefs at all.
I am
he
fair
thinks
with the
he
Chiefs.
is. He's
I've just
completely
been right all the time.
unfair.
With all due respect, bro, you don't know what I've been going through. I got dressed down in my shared office.
No, because
he pulled me aside, closed the door, sat
true.
down like he was my dad. But you know what it was? It was the first grandfather moment on the show. He's like, look, I've been in this take game for a long time. You're headed down the wrong path.
This is true, but that's because here's the thing, and I'll just do it here.
Here we go.
I told him.
You know this. You're CJ Stroud right now. Just so you know, the lecture that led to the losing. I'm just saying that's where you're at.
But I have, God. Was the New Year's resolution be less humble?
Yes.
I have accomplished more in the take game than CJ Stroud as NFL quarterback, so I can do this.
Fair. And he often gives good advice.
It was simply that if you are leaning towards, just like you were for the AFC Championship game, which it didn't end up working out, but it kind of did because they won, Patriots comfortably. Right. My suggestion was have the analysis be more about the Patriots are better than you think, and less about the Seahawks are frauds because Wild doesn't actually think.
I like to throw a little bit of frauds in there, though.
And so,
just a little.
So when I say I'm not asking, I'm saying you don't have to be fair. You do get to wear the hat of the entire media. The only person who saw the Patriots being in this game as a possibility months ago.
Yes.
So you have planted your flag on, you guys are still not yet properly rating how good my team is.
Yeah, it is tough, though, when you're coming from a place of fandom, because Nick just said earlier where he was like, I'm not, I don't lean into the fandom of the Chiefs. I'm accurate. I'm always right. And it's like you said, they were going to get to the Super Bowl this year, and they didn't even make the playoffs. You said they were going to three-peat, and they didn't, right? So, it's a tough existence when your takes are just born from fandom, quite frankly. So the fact that I had been praising the New England Patriots for so long, and it's not born from fandom, to me that means a little bit more. I'm just saying. But I mean, guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I remember I reached an absolute breaking point. I have to check. It might have been the Thursday before the Super Bowl. At the latest, it was Friday. I feel like it was Thursday. And I just remember I'd reached such a breaking point with the Super Bowl coverage, and I was just like, this is the last, and I think it was like an Eagles video. I was like, this is the last Eagles video that I got until the Super Bowl. I'm like, this is just, I'm just done. And like, that's what happens with these conversations when we're just talking about the same two teams. And I mean, how many Drake Maye shoulder conversations have we had? And, you know, I watched this clip, you know, live right now, but when I was setting it up, I could still see that, like, you know, Nick shows his, you know, the graphic of like Drake Maye from, you know, September to October, you know, from September to October, then November to January. And I'm just like not gonna do it, man. I'm just not gonna do that. We've already had that conversation. We already talked about it. You know, there's already trying to kind of like a downplaying of Drake Maye or this or that. And it's just like, it's just tough. It's honestly, Super Bowl week is always a little bit of an appetizer to the off season, because you're just starting to have conversations about things that you're just like, how much does this actually really matter, right? We're already talking about like Max Crosby going to be moved on from the Raiders. Should the Cowboys sign George Pickens? Like, and it's just, you're just like, oh man. And now with the teams that are actually about to be in the literal Super Bowl, we're having lines like healthy Maye, bad news for Seahawks defense. Like, I never questioned Drake Maye's health to begin with, you know, and now that we're just trying to draw this line of his like deep ball passing, including the playoffs and this and that, it's just like, it's a tough one, honestly. Honestly, it's a tough one. At least it's a little bit less chaotic. Last year, they were like down in New Orleans or whatever. And like, it was so loud, and like, they're in front of a live audience, and you could hear them doing like, Colin was like having his show, and you could see them doing like construction, like on the street. Like, it was so frantic. And I think that's what also caused me to like, not only just be like reach a breaking point, but I like literally just I'm like, oh my God, this is over. I can't do it anymore. I can't listen to it. I can't see it. I'm like, this is, I don't know what this is right now. At least now they're just in studio, so it's a lot more chill. But like, we don't need to keep going over these numbers right now and try to figure out like, what does it mean for this Super Bowl? Like, this means nothing, essentially. Like, that's the reality. This right here means absolutely nothing. 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 Whether Drake Maye goes 0 for 4 on deep ball passing has nothing to do with this. Whether he goes 5 for 5 and 5 touchdowns on deep ball passing, nothing to do with this. Like, it's not an indicator of anything. It's not a trend. It's not a trajectory. It's not kind of like, oh, this we're using this to be able to predict what is. No. The Super Bowl is so weirdly unique. Literally, just use the last Super Bowl. Just use the last Super Bowl that we all watched, that we all witnessed. The Philadelphia Eagles offense unfolded completely different than it did all season long. Saquon was not a monster in the run game. Jalen Hurts was throwing all over the field. He was the leading rusher. That defense for the Eagles was great, but the Kansas City Chiefs had a ton of momentum offensively. They hung a boatload of points against the Buffalo Bills, and then it came to an absolute screeching halt. The way how that game unfolded, you would have said, how did the Kansas City Chiefs even make the playoffs, let alone make the Super Bowl? You saw the way the Philadelphia Eagles played, you'd be like, how are they not undefeated? How did they not just win every game by 30? And the Super Bowl is just so specific. It's just so specific. So even trying to use data from October makes no sense to me. November makes no sense for me. December, no sense to me. Even the last playoff game, it's like, I don't know how much it matters right now. Don't know. Unless there's concrete evidence of something happening to the contrary, like Drake Maye can't, run, right? He's immobile, and yet you're like, well, what are you talking about? In the AFC Championship game, he rushed for 65 yards or something, right? Like, okay, that's a lot more concrete, but like, that's not what we have to go off of right now, specifically because of how those games unfolded, the weather, etc. So, from my viewpoint, to kind of keep rehashing some of this is just like, I don't know what it serves, and I don't know what the entertainment value is either personally, because at the end of the day, It's like all about entertainment. It's all about interest, right? And I guess again, this is one of those things where I try to use my own views on some of this stuff as a reference point to be like, well, how else are other people feeling, right? And like, it's just, I don't know. I think I just overall struggle a little bit with Super Bowl coverage because it is just so, like, it's just the same thing again and again and again. And if you notice, as I've been making videos, I'm like making videos about the Tennessee Titans, about the Las Vegas Raiders, the Atlanta Falcons, because I'm just like, I made Giants video because it's just like, how many times can I just keep saying I think Sam Darnold is great, Drake Maye is the MVP. Stop worrying about Drake Maye's deep ball passing in November. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. So I'm just curious because like I come into, for today and I'm like, okay, how's First Things First going to open up their show? Because I'm always like, okay, this is interesting. This is the main story, the main segment, and it's just like Drake Maye's shoulder. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, all right. I don't like what are we saying here. And then when I'm trying to cube the clip, I see that graphic where I'm just like, oh my God, September to November, September to October, November to January. Like, what are we doing here? Like, come on, man. Well, come on. Come on. And that's why I was looking at my breaking point last year. I think it was probably some dude with Jalen Hurts where they were just like, Jalen Hurts can't pass the ball, or they're like, I forget, the Eagles just can't win. Collins saying that the Eagles aren't even going to get in the red zone or something, right? Like that was some of the takes that we all got exposed to, right? And it's just like, well, Jalen Hurts ended up being the literal MVP of the Super Bowl. The Eagles, I don't know how many times they got into the red zone, but I know they scored a lot of points, okay? And it was the Chiefs that struggled to get in the red zone, and quite frankly only got into the red zone, and especially the end zone when the game was completely over. So it's just, I don't know. Super Bowl coverage is tough. Honestly, I think 2 weeks just to talk about these, and I get why you have 2 weeks because it makes the most amount of sense, but like, it's tough. Ideally, from an actual discussion standpoint, it's just another week than the Super Bowl, right? Because we have 2 full weeks to talk about these teams and we've just hashed it all out. We've said it all. So I'm just curious how it all lands for you. What these types of conversations mean to you at this point. And kind of how you navigate it. Because my mind checks out. Like, that's the real, that I'm just being honest. Even shows that I love, that I watch all the time, I'm like, all right, I don't need to hear Colin go on another 5-minute rant about how great of a coach Mike Vrabel is, right? Or what's at stake for Sam Darnold. I'm like, there's no more. There's nothing new to be said. Is a healthy Drake Maye bad news for the Seahawks defense? Yes, because Drake Maye is awesome. Drake Maye is elite. Doesn't mean that he's going to dominate the Seahawks. Doesn't mean that the Seahawks are now like, oh, we're afraid of you. But like, yeah, anytime a great quarterback is fully healthy, yeah, the defense has to wrestle with that. That's just football. That's just football. And I don't care what Drake Maye's passer rating on deep. Ball passing was in the month of November. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I don't care what Drake M's deep ball completion percentage was against the Texans. Don't care. It does not matter. It does not matter because Drake Maye is not a fragile quarterback. If Drake Maye was this quarterback who we thought was kind of like a flash in the pan, a quarterback who we had seen for years not play well, and now suddenly he's just playing this amazing season, and we started to see some cracks of the real Drake Maye again throughout the course of the season, and near the in from November onward, and we're like, he's kind of revealing who he's always been. Like, then that's maybe a conversation, then I could understand it. That's not the conversation here, but those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Is a healthy Drake Maye bad news for the Seahawks defense? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.